This is why most agents burn out and quit only after a year or two in the business. And this is from someone that has been in the business 12 years and has sold more than 600 properties in my career. When I first started, I was working like 60 hours a week, and honestly, I didn't have the clients or business to show for it for all those hours I was working. I felt like I was failing, like pretty much if I didn't get a closing soon or a few closings in a row, I was going to have to go back to my job that I had. I really wanted a flexible schedule. I wanted to be able to go to work when I wanted, leave when I wanted, and if I wanted to go to vacation, I felt like I wanted a job or a career where I can take the time off that I needed for myself. But I was starting to feel like entrepreneurship or just being a real estate agent wasn't for me because I was struggling. One of the things that was burning me out was I had no clear focus. I was all over the place and I was trying everything. I was kind of like a jack of all trades, right? For example, I was door knocking homes. I had some of my realtor friends. We would go out to a nice neighborhood and well, of houses where we wanted to do business in, and we would door knock several properties and kind of just, introduce ourselves, see if they wanted to buy a home or if they knew someone that was interested in making a move soon, or we would door knock during open houses, try to meet some of the neighbors and invite them to the open house. I was doing a bunch of different things to get business, like cold calling for sold by owners, expires. These are listings that were on the market, but then they canceled because they didn't sell. I was sending postcards. I was door knocking. I was doing open houses every week. I was doing everything that I could do. But the problem was that I wasn't being consistent with these strategies. One week I would do one thing, the next week I would do a different thing, and I was just kind of all over the place. So I wasn't really tracking what was working and what wasn't working with my audience. I wasn't organized with my clients, with my time, and I wasn't treating it like a job. I was coming in and out, leaving early on nice days, not working as much on the weekends. I wasn't really treating it like a career. I was also watching so many videos on YouTube, online, just kind of reading blogs, all these different things of how I can start my business. This was, back 12 years ago, and I was listening to so many different mentors and coaches, and honestly, it was so much information, and I just kind of had analysis paralysis. Like I knew everything that I had to do, but I wasn't actually like doing any of it, right? So what you want to do is focus on 2 to 3 lead sources at once, and you want to master them. A really good thing to do is start with social media and your sphere of influence. You could be making posts every day. Let everyone know that you're in the real estate industry. You don't want to be a secret agent. You want everyone to know that you can help them buy or sell a property. Also, you want to make sure that you reach out to your sphere of influence. This is people like your friends, your family, neighbors, people from work, from school, anyone that you want to make sure that they know that you're a real estate agent. I would start off with these two, and then once you get really good at these two, you can start expanding into different lead sources to help grow your business. You want to show up every day, even on the weekends, even when it's nice outside, or you want to do something fun. You want to make sure you're showing up for your clients. So even though real estate does give you a flexible schedule, which is amazing, and that's one of the things I love most about my job. You want to make sure that you're being consistent with your schedule and that you're coming in at least from 8 to 5. I'm not telling you that you have to, work 80 hours a week, but you do want to make sure that you're available and that you're at the office, or if you're at your home office, that you're answering the calls that are coming in and you're setting as much appointments as you can. Use your calendar and put all your appointments in there that you have throughout the day. You also want to use your CRM so that you stay organized and you add all your clients to your CRM so you can see where they're at in the process, and you can add notes that you can look back later when you talk to them. Another thing that was burning me out was not having any boundaries with my business. For example, if someone called me on a sign call, which is whenever you go and put a sign outside your listing, sometimes people will drive by and call the sign. And a lot of times I would just jump up and go show them the house, no matter who they were. I was just super excited. And for a while, I just kind of did that. I went in and showed them the house as soon as they would call me. And a lot of these people sometimes couldn't even qualify to buy a home, or maybe they were just curious to see the property inside. Maybe they were not even planning to buy anything soon. So a lot of times I would spend a lot of time doing those activities instead of doing things that were actually going to generate me business. So it's okay to show houses to people that call you on the sign, but this is one of the things that you should focus on at the end of your schedule once you're done with everything else. And if you have time, then maybe you can fit in some of these types of showings. But it shouldn't be a priority because a lot of these people sometimes don't qualify. I was setting buyer consultations pretty much with anyone. Anyone that called me, I would try to get them in, and I would do a whole buyer consultation, which sometimes takes about an hour. Some of these clients might not even qualify again. So you want to make sure that you're making the best use of your time. And even though it is really important to meet every single client that you talk to, you want to make sure that those clients are pre-approved. That way you're making the best use of your schedule and your time. Some clients will want to see 1,000 houses and they'll actually never buy anything. You know what I'm talking about. And as you get experience in the business, you'll start to have a feel for which clients are serious and which clients are just pulling your leg and aren't going to do anything. You definitely don't want to work with the clients that don't appreciate your time or aren't taking the purchase seriously. My work life balance was way out of whack. I pretty much only worked and didn't do anything for myself. I like to spend time with my family, go take my kids to the park, go for a jog. I like to go to the gym, get on my bike. There's so many different things and hobbies that I like to do, and I wasn't making any time for this. And this isn't healthy because if you're working all the time and you don't give yourself any breaks or any time to recharge, whenever you are working, you're not going to be putting as much effort because you're drained or you're tired or you're just not in the right mental state to work hard because you're burnt out. So you want to make sure that you have a good work-life balance so that whenever you're fully recharged and you feel good, you can really go hard at work and do the things that you have to do to get the business going. I was on the phone all the time during lunch, during dinner, when I was with my family, doing activities all the time. I was like super tired of being on the phone, and it's because I answered the phone anytime someone called me. It could be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I would be calling and texting and doing everything all day until I would go to sleep. This is what you want to do. You want to make sure that you do respect your client's time, but you also want to respect your own time when you're doing hobbies, when you're having dinner with your family, when you're doing something that you like to do. It's okay to pause. This is going to help you stay motivated and stay in the game for a long time. Your health is super important. If you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to stay in the business for long. Comparing yourself to others. This one's pretty hard, especially if you're a driven, competitive person. Sometimes you want to see what other people are doing, what's working for them. It's really hard to kind of just focus on yourself. And this is one that I kind of struggled with for a while because I kind of wanted to gauge myself and see kind of how good I'm doing in comparison to other agents that started at the same time with me. But this is a huge mistake. We've all seen the Instagram agents that are killing it, are getting 10 closings a month, they're multi-millionaires, they're driving around in a Lamborghini, they live in a mansion, all these different things. But what we don't know is the whole situation, right? We don't have a big picture of how they're getting these clients. Sometimes these clients are passed down from a team. So if they're in a team, they're probably paying a pretty high split for these clients. Or maybe they're buying these leads from Zillow, which Zillow takes a big cut from these deals as well. They pay a pretty high monthly fee to get these leads, which sometimes don't even end up working out. Sometimes they use the whole team's volume and they kind of make it seem like it's their own volume. So just make sure that you take this with a grain of salt when you see these huge numbers. You just really never know how they're getting these clients, how much they're paying for them. They might not even be profitable, or maybe they're just using the whole team's numbers. And what do you get from comparing yourself to another agent? You really don't get anything but negativity. You want to make sure that you're not focusing what other people are doing and that you focus your eyes on the prize, which is your goals. You want to just focus on what you're doing and you want to compete against yourself, not other agents. By focusing on yourself, you'll be able to innovate, come up with different ways that work best for you and your business instead of spending so much time looking at what other agents are doing. This is counterproductive and is really just a waste of time. First of all, I want you to give yourself some grace. Give yourself some props. Look how far you've come. You went and studied for your real estate license. You took the course. You passed the test. You started training. You're learning contracts. You're starting a new career. Give yourself some time to learn the business. Immerse yourself in the business. Read as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. Read audiobooks, read books, go to conferences, do whatever you can to start building your knowledge on the real estate business. Something that really helped me was focusing on the journey, the process, and just improving things every day. Sometimes I would do something, it would work, and I would, make note of that. And the things that didn't, cross them out and do something different. So you just want to make sure that you're improving every single day. You don't need to know everything at once. You don't need all the best scripts and the best CRMs and the best tools and the best lead generation systems and all this stuff. You don't need any of that. Just figure out what works best for you and what you can be consistent doing and focus on the fundamentals of your business. And every time things get out of whack, just make sure you always come back to the fundamentals, which would be social media and your sphere of influence. Make sure you're always lead generating with those lead sources or whatever other lead sources you find that work best for you, whether it be open houses, cold calls, door knocking, whatever works best for you. Make sure you always come back to the fundamentals of your business. You don't need to be working 24/7. You just need to be effective with your time. Whether you're new or you're just starting out or you've been in the business a while, this video is really going to help you not burn out and it's going to help you stay in the business a while because you're focusing on the right things and you're not all over the place. I hope this video helps you. Please give the video a like if you like the video and please subscribe to see more videos. See you next time.